As explained in my previous Spongebob video, you guys know just how much I love the show, and on rewatch the movie still held up incredibly well. It's funny, has good animation, and has a satisfying story that definitely stays true to the show. This really should have ended the series in my opinion. There's only one Spongebob movie. Only one. This review doesn't need to exist. Ugh, fine, if I have to. I'll review the third Spongebob film. I hate it, and it's probably the film that I hate the most in general. I'm being deadly serious. Well, at least this will be perfect for first class junk. Oh, I haven't reviewed the second one yet. Oh right, go on then, let's review this shit. I mean, in all honesty, I don't think I'd call the second Spongebob movie shit. From memory, I always enjoyed it to be fair, so I can't complain too much. However, you can already tell the concept of this movie feels like a product rather than a genuine attempt. This is all from the advertising of the movie being the CGI version of the characters, because I guess it was the cool thing to do at the time to make childhood cartoons CGI, which if I'm being honest I don't have much issue with. The movie itself actually doesn't spend much time at all in this form anyway, so if anything it's false advertising. But I don't care because I prefer 2D animation. The other issue with the concept is the sponge out of water concept. They act like they've never done this before, when they literally do it in the TV series. So like, what's the big deal guys? You've done this before. It also happened in the original Spongebob movie, which to be fair is supposed to be set after the whole series. But still, it just seems like a massive step backwards for this one. The original was this big event, and the characters going to the surface in that one was merely part of their crazy adventure. Now this is just the main selling point. I think I'm just really salty that they removed the Slash cameo from the movie. That would have been so cool to see, honestly. At least this one has Steven Hillenburg working on the story with Paul Tibbets, who was one of the original screenwriters on the show. That does give me some hope for this film. But then again, the original movie having all the classic screenwriters incredibly benefited that one. The film got surprisingly good reviews when it was released, and people claim that it had the original SpongeBob magic. However, in most recent times people have been a bit more harsh on the movie. So, does this movie have any of the charm that the original has? So the film does the same thing that the first one did with the pirate opening, and this time it's with Antonio Banderas, who is apparently called Burger Beard. Never heard that one before, but we'll go with it. And he's great in the Shrek films, and I love him in The Skin I Live In. That is a great film guys. I highly recommend that to younger viewers. It's a great time. But anyway, straight from the start we can see that it looks a lot more tacky than the first movie. It's all fake looking, and it looks like it was done on green screen. The lighting just looks so flat. They even sing the song again like the first film, but without any of the charm because it sounds like shit. And that's because it's coming from these CGI seagulls. I think the main difference is that the original pirates didn't need to exist and didn't really affect the story, but they went above and beyond on the effort, and they are still amusing scenes to be fair. These scenes in contrast are needed in the movie as Burger Beard is the main villain, but they just feel so cheap and the plot already feels convoluted already. And to be honest, the entire plot is very pointless. The whole gimmick of the film is the characters going out of the water, but as I said before, we saw this in the series and the movie. Also, remember how funny and interesting the villains were in the first movie? It's not here at all in the sequel. Having Plankton as the main bad guy made so much sense because he was the villain in the series, but in this we just have Burger Beard. And why do we even care about this guy? He isn't connected to the series in the slightest, and it just seems like they were trying to include anything to make a plot. That or they were just trying to include a celebrity. This could have worked as a TV movie, but why make this a full-length feature? Oh, and fucking hell, we're not even 5 minutes in and there's a poop joke. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing for a SpongeBob movie. And don't worry guys, they have one later as well. I think the 2D sections are easily the better part of the film. The intro is a lot of fun and I do enjoy it, but unlike the first movie, the foundations of a good story are just not there sadly. It feels more like a TV show adventure, even less than that to be honest. The writing is just not as clever. The bit I do enjoy the most is the parts with SpongeBob and Plankton. It worked well in the series with the fun episode, and the parts with them in this film do have some funny moments. And can I also say how dumb it is that SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs forget the secret formula recipe? Like what? Mr. Krabs created the damn thing, and SpongeBob made the Krabby Patties for years. What sense does it make that both of them forgot the goddamn recipe? Oh yeah, because movie has to happen. The film sort of fixes the issues that the first one had, with the lack of side characters, but then again it's replaced with more issues, kind of like the 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. I enjoyed seeing more of Squidward, but I don't get what they were doing with Sandy. She's in the intro of the movie, which does work as it's incorporated back into the story, but after that they just make her crazy. What do the SpongeBob movies have against this character? Do I have to accuse them of being misogynistic? I am joking, guys, but in all seriousness, Sandy is just reduced into a joke the whole time. She tries to explain to the gang that humans breathe air, but she's shut down completely and just goes along with the other characters. So the identity of her standing up to the others is just completely gone in this movie. I do also wish that the film focused more on Squidward. We do thankfully get more of him, but the reason the original series worked was because of the contrast of their personalities. I would have liked to have both of the characters interacting more, to be honest. In general, this movie could have been really great if they wanted to explore some of the characters, but apart from Plankton, this doesn't really happen, and it's just a shame. When it gets to the actual gimmick of the movie, when the sponge is indeed out of water, I think it's the weakest part, partly because a lot of it is with Burger Beard. Also, them turning into superheroes was probably because of the success of the MCU, no other reason. Nickelodeon saw that CGI superheroes were profitable, and they were just like, yeah, let's just go with that. The humans are just not engaging or interesting either. It's a pretty hard feat to beat David Hasselhoff arriving out of nowhere, but man, they just do nothing with the humans. That's the main thing with this movie. None of the issues are horrible, don't get me wrong guys, but when they really add up it just results in an okay watch. And the resolution of this movie is just disappointing. They wrap up the movie incredibly quickly, and I think that's because the story of this movie just isn't there. After this we just get Burger Beard singing the SpongeBob theme song, but this is stopped because they decided to do a rap battle with the annoying minion rip-off seagulls, and if you like it, it's whatever. But guys, this used to be the best kids cartoon of all time, and what we're seeing here is not it, Chief. Also, can I say that the animation looks very good, but in some ways it's too much of an improvement from the original. I think the shading and the lighting does look fantastic, to be fair, but I don't know, the 2D animation looks a bit dark at times. I can respect the reserved nature of the animation though, at least the reactions are not over the top and I can appreciate the look of the film. It's one of the most strongest points to it. Most of the songs from the show are missing from this movie, which is an issue the series had after the first season, and it hurts way more than I think people realise. The original series partly had such a distinct feel because of the soundtrack, and it was so iconic in the show. This movie has a very generic soundtrack, and it's obviously a massive downgrade. The song Squeeze Me is just a tie-in to the movie, more than a genuine attempt at a good song. It speaks volumes when Ocean Man has stood the test of time, and you never hear people speaking about Squeeze Me. Overall, Sponge Out of Water is an okay watch, but it's really vapid and shallow if you think about it for more than a few minutes. And to be fair, there is genuine good moments of this movie, and I think the animation and the comedy is very good at times, but the overall experience is just not well as thought out as the original, and I think that's because the script and the story isn't as tight. It's not a bad film and I don't hate it at all. The third movie is the one that I actually fucking despise so much. I can't wait to absolutely destroy that advertisement. I can't even call that a movie. And this second one also feels like a product at times. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, guys.